Today, I'll share why I'm finally speaking. But I've heard people talk about it, exactly what it means, whether it can stop you from having kids. I remember having an heavy bleeding, heavy flooding on the way to work, and obviously it was devastating. I was standing on that platform crying. Going to my doctor, I was sent away. I wasn't offered to even do a scan to check what's going on. I was sent away with Kokodamo just for the pain, relief pain. So I lived with that sort of heavy bleeding for many years. When I got married, like anybody else, I wanted to start a family. And to me, I feel like my body is ready. I'm just going to start and I'm going to get pregnant and the babies will come. But that wasn't the case for me. After trying for a year, I then decided to get a checkup. Getting scanned, going to the hospital just to figure out the whole appointment thing was nerve-wracking to start with. The initial thing, like I was so scared and I was thinking, what's going to happen? Am I going to lose my uterus? Am I ever going to be able to have kids? After a couple of scans, hello and welcome to Beyond the Womb. My name is Bukky. Today feels very special. Not only is it the first episode of the podcast and the YouTube channel, today is also my birthday. It feels very symbolic to launch something new on my birthday and the day that actually mark another year in my life. Beyond the Womb is a space for honest conversations about women's health, lifestyle, hormones, fertility and menopause and anything in between. Today, I'll share why this platform exists and why I'm finally speaking. When I got married, like anybody else, I wanted to start a family. And to me, I feel like my body is ready. I'm just going to start and I'm going to get pregnant and the babies will come. But that wasn't the case for me. After trying for a year, I then decided to get a checkup. Getting scanned, going to the hospital just to figure out the whole appointment thing was nerve-wracking to start with. After a couple of scans, I was met with the fact that I have couple of fibroids, not couple, quite a lot of seedlings. Then they measured them by fruit size. I think the biggest was like apple size, plum, grapes, all that sort of things. The initial thing, like I was so scared and I was thinking, what's going to happen? Am I going to lose my uterus? Am I ever going to be able to have kids? I decided at that point that I'm going to try just holistic approach by just living healthy and thinking that this thing will shrink. And obviously that didn't work. The conversations quickly moved to surgery. We explored different options. And to be honest with you, I had two different operations, one in the UK and one in America. I will emphasize on that on my forthcoming episodes. And the whole process of navigating the health system in the UK was quite emotional for me. And at that point, I didn't know much about fibroid. I've heard people talk about it, exactly what it means, whether it can stop you from having kids, wasn't the knowledge that I actually have at that point. I've had to quickly learn to understand my body, to understand what this thing is all about. Like anybody else, I wanted to immerse myself in a lot of knowledge just to be able to be armed with enough information for me to speak when I'm speaking to doctors. At that point, we decided that surgery would be the right options to go through. One thing I would like to say is when it comes to surgery, we all talk about, we just think it's just a surgery only. It's not the surgery only. There is the financial cost, there's the emotional cost, there's the fact that people around you probably don't know what you're going through. There is the feel of being judged as well, because as a young couple that just got married, people started asking after a year and a half, oh, when are you guys having kids? That's a normal thing in our culture. People ask that question unknowingly without knowing exactly whether you're going through anything. But in your heart, you don't really want to speak out or let them know what's going on. And again, it's a cultural thing. We don't share that much. And I feel this platform is a safe space for us to be able to talk openly and be able to discuss our lived experience. Maybe we'll be able to actually help the next generation or anybody else that is actually going through that sort of emotional roller coaster at the moment. I will emphasize a lot more as we go on a journey of this podcast. The other thing I would like to actually say is, like, when it comes to the healing process of when you've had the fibroid surgery, that takes a whole lot from your body as well. And if you've never done any operation before, the healing process could be between 6 to 8 weeks, or even more than that for some people, 6 months. It's basically having the right care and the right support system around you to ensure that one is able to go through that that state or that period. One thing I would like to bring up here as well is like during that period, looking back now, what did that teach me? What did I learn from it? First, when we're young, when we're in our 20s, there's a lot of things that goes on in our body that we don't really pay attention to. For example, the heavy bleeding, the period pain, and we just think we normalize everything. Women like to normalize things. You think that is a normal thing. That's a normal thing for us to go through. But no, it is not. Most of the time, not checking, delaying things just makes it worse. So it's always good to nip things in the bud when one finds out about that sort of issues. But looking back, I didn't really do much about it. Even when I had every period, I can give you a simple scenario. I remember having an heavy bleeding, heavy flooding on the way to work. And obviously it was devastating. I was standing on that platform crying. And going to my doctor, I was sent away. I wasn't offered to even do a scan to check what's going on. I was sent away with Cocodamo just for the pain, the relief pain. So I lived with that sort of heavy bleeding for many years. That's one of the things, looking back, is basically taking your own health into your own hands and being able to check things when you start feeling that thing that looks strange to you, that is not normal. We always have that thing within our mind as a woman. You know when things is not right, but we put it off. I think why we put it off is, what if I find out something I don't want to find out? But again, it's good to find out about that when you can, when it's still very early, than leaving it to later on in the stage. The other thing I wanted to touch on is perhaps we don't educate ourselves about our body enough. For me as well, I wasn't well informed when I was bleeding, or when my bleeding or my period was very heavy. I wasn't educated enough to know, or to even sort of like figure out, is this something that is abnormal? I don't know what is normal. I don't know what is not normal. So I feel like we need to be well educated, well informed about our body, not to just accept things that are going on in our body as normal. We're normalizing it. We shouldn't be doing that at all. The next thing that I then find out in my own journey as well, which I will touch on later on, is healthcare is not everybody have access to the kind of healthcare that they needed as they progress. For example, I was in a good position to be able to use my private health for my first operation that I had in the UK. Some people don't have access to that. And then the second one was actually high financial cost for me, the one I had in America. But I will emphasize more about that as well in the forthcoming episode. And finally, I would love to talk about the healing process of fibroid. It's something that is not just about the surgery itself. There's the emotional aspect of it. You need your support system. You need your faith. Because when you're going through a lot of things, faith comes into it. It's like, when I was thinking about this surgery thing, there's that niggling pain at the back of my mind, thinking, am I going to lose my uterus? But my strong faith was the one thing that actually kept me hoping that this is going to be okay. So it's having that support system when we're going through that sort of stressful situation is very paramount in women's life, definitely. Again, we talked about this platform, why it exists, and the kind of thing we wanted to cover here is women, we call it beyond the womb. It's beyond everything we actually experience as a woman. Yes, we go through period, the fertility, the hormones, the menopause. So this platform is going to serve as a way where we just talk openly with women that have actually gone through similar experiences, so that we can start to educate ourselves, so that we can start to talk about this thing openly, and so that we can start to get the kind of help that we need. And not just that, this goes beyond just talking about it. It's something that I wanted to be able to explore the possibility of helping other women that might not have access to the kind of treatment that I was able to gain access to. It's how do we help them? How do we start to think about other people that don't necessarily have that lottery of getting the good health that they deserve? Could be in Africa, anywhere else, but to basically make sure that we do the outreach from that angle. In time, I do hope that this platform will become something that is an outreach, something that can start open conversation for women where they can talk openly about their issues and how we can address that further. what to expect for the rest of the episodes that's coming up. We're going to talk about understanding fibroid clearly, treatment options and what question to ask. We're going to talk about the emotional aspect of fibroid. We're going to invite gynae that knows about women body. We're going to talk about menopause. We're going to talk about a lot of women issues, women health, lifestyle. And I just hope we're able to get you involved and to be able to contribute as well. If you find this useful, please kindly share, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mom, share with your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Thank you.